After a decade-long civil war, Sierra Leone is ready to get back to business. The country is rich in resources, but still one of the poorest in the world. So the government has undertaken key reforms, reducing the hurdles for business. The government says improving the country's weak infrastructure has been key to development. Sierra Leone is one of the least electrified countries in sub-Saharan Africa, but leaders hope that'll change with the expansion of the Pomona Hydroelectric project. The government is working with the American company Joule Africa to increase power capacity at the facility. Our Elise Labot sat down with President Ernest Bai Koroma to discuss the Pomona project and other development strategies aimed at bringing in more investors.
We have to position the private sector in the forefront of economic development. And therefore, considering where we are coming from, we took it as a priority that we should be a government that will embark on great reforms that will be attractive to the investor.
Africa is so rich in minerals, and Sierra Leone in particular, and there's been decades throughout the continent of mismanagement. And how do you escape that narrative?
Because of the expectation and the focus of democratization, transparency and accountability, and the awareness and the expectations of the people, and the demand of those of us in leadership to respond to the needs of the people, we have to ensure that our policies and our programs reflect that, and the people become the greater beneficiaries than it has happened in the past.
You know, in many post-conflict fragile states, the key challenge is infrastructure and making sure that the infrastructure is able to manage the rebuilding of the whole country and the whole society. Talk about your infrastructure and whether it's able sufficiently to manage your growth right now.
We quickly agreed on prioritizing our development agenda, and we call it in Sierra Leone the Agenda for Change. In that agenda we had energy, agriculture, infrastructure, health and education as the key sectors that should be given a priority and attention, and the sectors that will impact on the overall.
And you've quintupled your spending in some areas.
Oh yes, but because we believe there is a need for it. We believe that because of our agricultural potential, if we enhance our agricultural productivity, we will not only be addressing the issues of food self-sufficiency, but we will be addressing the issues of employment creation and also poverty reduction.
Sierra Leone right now is one of the least electrified countries in sub-Saharan Africa, but now you have this Pomona Hydroelectric project. What are the immediate benefits for the economy and for the people of Sierra Leone?
We inherited a very difficult situation in the energy sector. It was a sector that had less than 10 megawatts of energy provision for the whole country, and that was why we as a government worked on the completion of the Pomona Hydroelectric project. This was a project that has been under construction for well over 30 years, and people are realizing the benefits. Some of them have increased their domestic and economic activities because of a constant energy generation. And they know that at the end of the day, if I pay my bills, I will continue to enjoy the supply. And if I enjoy the supply, I will be able to provide the services that will provide me an income. So I think it is a win-win situation. I mean, they have not been experiencing that in the past because the cost was astronomical. But with this...
could be more cost-effective now.
Yes. And I believe that if we continue to reach out, to spread out the provision of energy, to ensure that not only the domestic suppliers benefit, I mean the domestic consumers benefit, but also the institutions and other agencies benefit.
You've been 10 years since the war. Look ahead the next 10 years. Where do you see Sierra Leone?
Sierra Leone would have developed their democratic values to the point wherein it will no longer be considered as a fragile state. With all of the opportunities that are now availing themselves in the mineral sector, the agricultural sector, the tourism, we should be able to transform ourselves to a middle level country.